for the next episode. I can't wait to get home and turn my TV on. I'm ready for the next episode. Got my snatch shoes off, my remote control. I'm ready for the next episode.
Hi guys, welcome to season 2 of Next Episode. I'm your host Nick.
And I'm Jess.
And today is a very interesting episode because we're going to discuss a show that I did not watch.
Yes. Yes, we are. We're going to discuss a show that she made me watch and then refused to watch herself.
That's 100% true. So today we are going to be discussing She the People. It's a Tyler Perry show that is on Netflix. Now, to know me is to know that I am someone who does not enjoy Tyler Perry's art for the most part. I have not enjoyed his art since probably like Why Did I Get Married? I think I enjoyed those movies. Although like I did. I enjoyed those movies. I enjoyed the cast.
Yeah,
but most of the other art he produces is just not for me. I'm not the target audience. I don't enjoy it.
I enjoyed the plays early on, but then everything just felt repetitive and kind of got tired.
I was younger too.
Yeah, I was younger too. Yeah.
So I really think like as I matured and grew as a person, I don't think his art grew with me. So, but I will say that when I saw the trailers for She the People, I was intrigued. I was.
What intrigued you?
I'm going to mess up her name. Is her name Terry?
Terry J. Vaughn.
Okay, thank you. Terry J. Vaughn, I love her.
Me too.
I have loved her since the Steve Harvey show.
Absolutely.
She's hilarious. She's a great actress. And so I was like, she deserves her own show.
She absolutely does.
And I liked the premise. I liked the premise of her running for public office. You know, like I like that it was like in Mississippi. So is it Mississippi?
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's like not in a big city. You know, it's like more in like a rural area. Like I like the idea. I like the possibilities. I thought that would be like really enjoyable. Like following a Black woman who's trying to run for office, you know, small town, you have to deal with like small town stuff. Everybody knows everybody. Everybody knows everybody's business. And so I'm like, wait a minute, hold on. This is an actress that I love. This is a premise that I have not seen from Tyler before. It's a comedy, which, you know, I don't enjoy a lot of Tyler's art because it's very abusive to Black women. And I just can't. I can't deal with like the tragic abuse and all. I just can't deal with that. So I'm like, okay, well, this is a comedy. It's, you know, it seems like there's like a Black woman or good things are going to be happening for her. So I begged Jessica because we both agree we don't like his art. I'm like, let's watch the show. Let's review it. I'm like, I think maybe he might have pulled something off.
No.
And Jessica watched it before me. And so she watched it twice.
Actually, at this point, I watched it 3 times because I still wanted it to be fresh to have a conversation today.
So when it came time for me to watch it, I turned it on. And within the first 5 minutes, I was like, I can't do this. I can't. The dialogue,
that's where I say the abuse is in this one. It's not, you don't see her being physically abused. It's an abuse of dialogue. I always say Tyler Perry writes dialogue, especially for Black women, like he's never had a conversation with a Black woman in his life. I'm still not convinced that he has ever actually talked to a real life Black woman.
I don't know. All I know is within 5 minutes, I turned it off and I said, I'm sorry. I can't do this. And that's when you said to me, I've already watched it twice. And I think that is one of the worst things I have ever done to you.
It was a test of our friendship. It was.
So this is my formal apology.
Thank you.
I'm sorry that you have now watched that show 3 times. But I still want to talk about it
Okay.
because I want to talk about what you experienced versus what it could have been.
And that,
Because I still stand on I feel like he had people in his show, like he had good casting.
mhm,
Like Terry J. Vaughn is great. And even the guy, I've seen him, his TikToks, they're pretty funny. I think his name is Ace or something like that.
yeah, he plays the character he
Is
plays is oh, hold on. Are you talking about Diane Brooks?
is it like a short light skinned guy?
Yeah, Diane Brooks, who plays Basil
Okay.
in the show.
Okay, so yeah, I made up that Ace thing, but I've seen him on
Mhm.
TikTok, and I think he's funny. And I think with I'm like, I don't think that he was improperly casted to be in a comedy. So tell me about your experiences.
It's a good idea, poor execution. That kind of sums it up for me, which I honestly don't think that's uncommon for Tyler Perry because there's some other works that he has that I'm like, the premise was good. The execution was terrible. I feel that same way about A Fall from Grace. And then, like you said, yes, he always gets good actors. That's why I'm like, it's not them. It is the writing and the direction. Because how you take seasoned, wonderful actors and make them sound like they are reading this, reading the script like that day. That's you. That's not them. He also has in this is Jo Marie Patton, which is the lady who plays Harriet Winslow in Family Matters. She plays Terry J.
No.
Yes, yes. She plays Terry J. Vaughn's character, Antoinette, her mother. And he,
So this is interesting. Hold on, let me
okay,
say
go ahead.
something. This is interesting about Tyler Perry. He has a love and he has a respect for black actors who mean something to us, but who often don't get to shine.
Mhm.
Like he did a lot. Like he did movies with I'm terrible with names. What is the Miss Jane Pittman? What is her name?
Oh, Cicely Tyson.
Yeah, Cicely Tyson. He made sure to give her
He
flowers.
did.
He Felicia Rashad.
Mm-hmm.
He had her.
Alicia Rashad in A Fall from Grace is exactly what I'm talking about. Because one, A Fall from Grace was actually a really good premise. Really good premise. And then you have Alicia Rashad and Cicely Tyson, I believe, was in that one too, sounding like they are reading.
Mhm.
These women been acting forever. They are good. So like you didn't give them enough time. You didn't like really like this it's just it's not them.
It's not. It's not. But he pulls in like actors who often are getting overlooked in Hollywood who we love.
Mm-hmm.
Cause and then of course I don't know anybody's name, but you got Harriet Winslow.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? You're pulling Felicia Rashad, you're pulling Cicely Tyson, you're pulling Terry J. Vaughn. Like these are people who we love.
Mm-hmm.
Okay?
Absolutely.
And then you're doing them so dirty.
Oh, he had, and okay. And I mean, I get this. When you're an actor, you want to play different parts. You don't want to always play the same character. I get that. But he has Jo Marie, I'm not sure if it's Patton or Peyton, but Jo Marie playing like this hood grandmother. Like she is like super hood, ghetto fabulous kind of, and it's so hard to accept that. And it's not that she's not doing a good job. It's hard because it's like, but that's Harriet. And
Right.
now that's not anybody's fault.
She got a husband. She raising her kids in the
Girl, no,
suburbs.
she is like weed smoking, going to the strip club, girl. And that's not anybody's fault. That's hard for my brain to accept. 'Cause I've seen her on
Right.
Matters for so many years.
So okay. So I have
Okay.
questions. Okay. So we have a good
Mm-hmm.
premise, right? So we're starting off with a good premise. Now the characters that he has Terry J. Vaughn who is running for office. Is she running for governor?
She's running for lieutenant governor. So the premise is
Okay,
like
she's running for
she's
lieutenant
a
governor.
lawyer. She went to I believe it was Jackson State undergrad, but she went to Harvard Law School, right? And then she's coming back and she
Mhm.
works as a city council person, and now she's running for lieutenant governor. And apparently in Mississippi, the lieutenant governor and the governor can be from two different parties. So that's what's happened here. There's a Republican governor who is the incumbent who wins, and she is the new lieutenant governor, and she's a Democrat. And so there's automatically tension and friction there, right?
She actually gets elected?
She does get elected. She gets elected in the craziest way possible, which is a comedy. So she actually is a bit trying to have this election. She's relatively recently divorced, and her ex husband is, you know how ex husbands are, and so like it's kind of hard for her to keep her family together. You know what I mean? Her kids are like not on. One of her kids is not on board with this all this kind of crazy foolishness, and so her daughter basically plays the two parents against each other. Each other goes to a party. She rolls up. She's actually losing in the polls. Okay, rolls up on this like party that's supposed to be for teenagers. Of course, they're doing all kinds of stuff that they're not supposed to do. She goes off on the little boy who took her daughter to the party because he's incredibly disrespectful. Like, you know what I mean? It's not like I'm not counting my daughter. She needs to go off on him. People record it, and then it goes viral, and then people come out to support her and vote for her because they're like, yeah, we want somebody who's tough. And so, yeah, that moment that she thought was going to
Right.
her actually is the reason why she got elected. Still at this point, for the most part. And at that point, like, it's just the dialogue. Because, like, even that, with that being the premise, like, you know what I mean? She's like, you can tell she's kind of not, you know, trying to juggle a whole bunch of things, can't keep everything up, can't keep everything going. And finally, she's like, forget this election. My teenage daughter is wilding. I'm going to get her. And that's actually what, you know, endears her to people. But it's just the stuff that is said the way it's said along the way that it's just like, nobody talks like that. No one talks like that.
Right. And the characters, and once again, I only watched 5 minutes. The characters were giving very much over the top.
Oh yeah, they were. So, you know, she has that like assistant that's like supposed to be her cousin, who is the most ridiculous character to me. Even more so than the one Diane Brooks, which he's outlandish too. But it just doesn't make any sense. Like, the stuff that they do does not make sense for their characters. Now, I know it's a comedy and comedies can be over the top, but it still takes, it's so outlandish the way that they talk and the way they interact that it takes you out of the story. I think that's what it is. You know? So like her name on the is Shamika. Her character's name is Shamika. Shamika is not somebody that you would hire if you are a lawyer and went to Harvard. Like, I don't care that she's my cousin. She's constantly talking to her cash crazy. She's not professional, you know, embarrassing her in front of other people. Like, and I'm just like, you would have fired. You wouldn't have put up with that. That's the other thing. Like, the character to me is very inconsistent. Terry J. Vaughn's character, whose name is Antoinette. Antoinette is very inconsistent. You were supposed to be a person who pulled yourself out of like poverty, basically, and went through Harvard Law School, came back to your community as a lawyer and a councilwoman. She just reads kind of weak to me. And I'm like, the only thing that I can give Tyler is that he usually makes these kind of Black women these evil career bees. And she's not an evil career bee, but she's also kind of weak to be a lawyer who did all that. So you let this cousin run over you. You let the governor run over you. You know, it doesn't make, you let your teenage daughter run over you, your ex-husband, everybody. And I'm just like, what this kind of who, you know what I mean? The kind of person who has the tenacity to go through that, do that doesn't make sense to me.
I think that Tyler Perry doesn't understand the concept of nuance at all. And his characters are always on the extreme end of everything. Okay, so for example, let's take the TV show Girlfriends for example. So we had like Maya. Okay, so Maya in the group was kind of like the more urban character, right? And she said some wild things, right?
Right.
But she was great at her job.
She was
great at her job. So there was a balance. Okay, you're like, okay, well, she's more urban than all these other girls. Why is she in the group? Because she's actually intelligent. She's good at her job, but she just brings a different voice to the situation. And even Lynn, who like was kind of like the hippie person, like she was like a hippie, but she just wasn't like going out and like just
nobody was one note
chaos.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Some chaos sometimes, but like it was still balanced. There was still elements,
right? But it wasn't constant.
Right. Like you understood why these ladies were friends, even though there was often friction and tension within the friend group.
right, because that's more, that's real.
Mm-hmm.
And I just think that, like, I wish Tyler would produce and let other people write, let other people direct.
Mm-hmm.
I wish he wouldn't create things on such a short
There's no
timeline.
reason to do
Like, he's someone who brags, "Oh, I'll shoot an entire season in a week or 10 days," or
that.
we can tell.
We could tell. That's why these people sound like they're reading, because they haven't had enough time to digest the script. Yeah, it is that, because it's like, okay, she's hiring her cousin, trying to bring her cousin up, a little rough around the edges. That's fine, but no, it is so way past that. Like, you're meeting the governor for the first time. You're meeting some other characters for the first time, like the guy who's going to be in security detail, who's obviously the love interest, right? Um,
Mm-hmm.
and she's saying, and the Shamika character saying in front of her, "Oh, she's single. She need a man. Oh, you'd be perfect for her." Like, it is just in a way that is so over the top that it's like nobody does that. Nobody, you know what I mean? Or if
No.
you did it to make an uncomfortable situation, because like comedies are, and you do make uncomfortable situations. There's faux pas, there's mishaps, but it's just like everybody's directly stating stuff so directly. You know what I mean? Like, it's just
Right.
uncomfortable. So now Shamika is dating, the Diane Brooks character's name is Basil.
Mm-hmm.
So, who is supposed to be her driver till he gets replaced by this guy. But they're just talking in front of her, in front of both of them, about how single she is now. She ain't had none since she was divorced and all this kind of stuff. No one is doing that.
Mm-hmm. No, no, not at
You know
all.
what I mean? Like,
Not at
I'm
all.
like, even in a comedy that's over the top, like, I watched every single season of Martin. Martin is definitely over the top. It still does not feel like this.
No, absolutely not.
You know what I mean? Like, it's still like the crazy situations
No.
that they get into, that the characters do, even when they're riffing on each other, it still feels so much more natural than this.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. And I think he could never do Martin.
Girl,
Because once again, like, that line, that's a talent and a skill,
it is. It
right?
is.
To create a show that is over the top but is still, like, rooted in some reality, entertaining and funny. That is, it's not easy.
It's not.
It's not. It's not.
It's not easy.
That's a skill, and he does not have
No,
that, because he does not know how to write characters with dimension.
no, he doesn't. He
He
doesn't.
doesn't know how to he doesn't know how to let things, like, simmer.
Right. Or
You know
he
what I mean?
doesn't.
Because
He does not.
the first episode of Martin was not over the top crazy.
No.
You know what I mean? Like, you have to
You build up
establish
to it.
people, right? Gain the audience trust, inform us of the dynamics. But within the first 5 minutes of the show, I'm already like, oh no,
So what
oh
made
no,
you
no,
turn
no,
it
this is
off?
this is too.
Like,
The dialogue,
okay.
like, the way the characters were talking to each other, I was like,
Mhm.
oh, it. This is gonna make me sound dramatic and over the top, but I have to speak my truth.
Mhm.
It was making my ears hurt. Like, it was
I
it was
get that.
causing me physical discomfort.
I absolutely get that.
And the only thing I can compare it to was the other day, my husband was writing on the chalkboard in the office with a piece of chalk.
Mhm.
And literally, I was like cringing, and I was literally holding it together, trying to hold it together. And finally, I couldn't take it anymore. I'm like, please. I'm like, it's physically hurting my ears. Please, please stop. It was that. And he said, "Oh, you know what? I think you've told me that before." And I didn't even realize I had said that to him before,
Mhm.
which made me think, like, why are you doing it? But whatever. But, like,
That's
and
so
that's
funny.
how I felt. Like,
Mhm.
he shouts when he should whisper.
Mhm. Yeah, and he tells so much. It's like you can create tension in moments to where we know what's going on without having to directly state every single thing. Like, your audience is intelligent enough to figure out that yes, this governor does not want her to be here without you having to really say something like we're going to neuter her or something like that. But
Right.
yeah, it's just
You
it's
can do a lot with a look.
with
You can do a lot
exactly
with body language.
body language, a look, and it's the same thing. I'm like, so the situation where like she's meeting the driver for the first time, who's obviously going to be the love interest. You still could have had Shamika do something to make her uncomfortable, but not have her directly go on a
Hmm.
diatribe about how she ain't got no man, she had none in so many years, and her boyfriend talk. Like, no, who does that? Nobody would do that. And if you did that to me on my first day of
Right.
work,
Literally, she
I
could
don't
have
care that you're my
asked.
cousin. You getting fired.
Yeah.
Understand? Because you're not about to embarrass me in here in this situation where I always know it's going to be difficult.
She like did so. Of course, I didn't see the scene, but I'm like, the cousin could have just asked if he was single, and then gave her a look like, "Are you ready to go?"
Exactly.
You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Like, and that could have been enough.
Even her probing him a little bit would have felt more natural. You know what I mean? Like, so are you single? What do you like to do for fun? You know what I mean? Like that, and we would have all gotten
Hmm.
it and it would have still been uncomfortable and she could have cut her off. You know what I mean? Then it was
Right.
just so weird.
Or they could have teased, even if they wanted to tease Terry Vaughn, they could have did it just the three of them there. Like when the guy leaves, they're like, "Bro,
Hmm.
you know you ain't had nothing since your divorce. You need to jump on that." You know what I'm saying? Like that could have even happened,
Hmm.
but to do it in front of the security guard
And
is
several other people,
gross.
like so many other people were
Oh
there.
no,
Yeah, I want to say her
there were
maybe her
other people.
children were there, her mom, because like they all went with her on her first day to see her office. Now the mama is wild, so it's not that big a
So
deal.
yeah,
But
no,
like,
that's crazy.
hmm but who would talk like that and say you ain't had none in front of they folks' children? Who would do that?
Right. So I'm going to tell you why I'm annoyed, because this is the thing about Black people in general. Black people are heavy code switchers.
Hmm.
Heavy code switchers.
Hmm.
So the fact that when they're like in these professional environments and Tyler does not have them code switching, that's inauthentic to the Black experience. And even not all Black people code
Right.
switch the same way to the same level. It's not even about, all of a sudden they become like the most prim, posh, professional people. But Black people believe heavy in house business.
Hmm.
You do not discuss house business outside.
No, you
You know
don't,
what I'm saying? And so
girl.
for these people to not code switch, not clean things up, not keep house business to me is inauthentic to the Black
It
experience.
is, and like you said, not all Black people do it. So like Terry, it makes sense for Terry to do it. If let's say her assistant doesn't do it or doesn't know how to do it, you know what I mean? It still would not be that. You still know what it is to have a job. You still know you can't talk about these kind of things at your job.
And but that's what I'm saying. Like code switching, there's levels to it. So
Hmm.
no, they may not put on their like proper professional voice, but you're not gonna act the same way you act at home, at work,
Hmm.
or at your mom's job.
Right.
You know
Or
what I mean? Even
have
your
some.
your or at your daughter's job.
Okay, and back to not have exactly. You're not going to be talking about smoking weed and all this kind of foolishness at your daughter's job, and she just became lieutenant governor. But and back to what you said, like about not having nuance. So I'm like, I didn't like that she was weak in every aspect of her life because I'm like, it's just not. It doesn't make sense for the kind of person who would have the tenacity to accomplish what she accomplished. So I'm like, so if you want to make it so
Hmm.
like maybe she's weak with the daughter because she feels guilty about the divorce, that makes sense. But to me, she would have put
Hmm.
like it is. I can't even describe like how these white men treat her. Which yes, we know and it's like a very racialized kind of context. You're in Mississippi. I'm not saying that they would not do it, but it's the way it's so blatant and obvious that there's no way. I'm like, she wouldn't have checked them before she did. Like, we're at the end of the show before she really checks them. And I'm like, this woman had to go through Harvard Law School. You think she ain't dealt with white men like this before?
Right.
You don't think she's dealt with men
Right.
who don't feel like she deserves to be in the room before as a woman? I think
Okay. So let
I
me ask
started
you:
with
does
that
she
mess
have?
in like third grade with having to put white boys in their place. You know what I mean? Who were like, wanted to treat you crazy at school. I didn't think you deserved to be in this class or whatever.
Does she actually have anyone on her side
No,
who actually like assists her?
no, not one. And I mean that strongly because what bothered me too is so one of the things that they do, which actually again was a good idea because I can see them doing this. And again, to where you didn't have to state everything because we can see what you're doing. So one of the things that the governor does to try to keep her from being effective is that he picks her staff before she can pick her staff, right? And
Hmm.
I'm like, Great idea. That's the kind of thing, and it comes up. Well, we just want to, make sure that you're comfortable. We didn't want you to have to worry about, you know what I mean. You don't have to directly state why he's doing it, but we all know why he's doing it.
Hmm.
I'm like, that was actually a great
Right.
choice. And so then the cousin is put out because she's like, "Oh, I'm not gonna be your chief of staff." And then Basil, her boyfriend, is like, "Oh, I'm no longer going to be your driver." And they immediately go off on Terry Javon. Like, she's not gotten to her desk yet. You know what I mean? Like, or like, you know what I mean? She's barely gotten into her office. Like, she literally has not been in the building for 15 minutes. I'm like, and she keeps trying to say, like, give me a second, let me figure out the ropes. I'm like, and of course, I'm like, she's got the, yes, she knows that that's not right. She still has to figure out how to get
Hmm.
around it because he's already done it. And for y'all to be going off, and I mean off on her immediately, it's just crazy to me. Like, she literally,
So I think that this is another thing where Tyler does not have the range to be writing.
mm-hmm,
Like the governor or the lieutenant governor's chief of staff,
mm-hmm,
that's a very serious job.
mm-hmm,
That's a big role because the chief of staff essentially runs all the other
mm-hmm.
employees.
Yeah. So
It could have never been your cousin.
it could have never been your cousin who has no experience in nothing. Like, I'm like, at the best, maybe a secretary. It could have never been your cousin. And like, mind you, she told
Personal
the cousin,
assistant, maybe.
personal
You know
assistant.
what I mean? Like
Yeah.
she's running and getting
Getting her
her stuff. She's
kids,
picking
getting
her
her,
kids
yeah,
up from
that's what she needed to
school.
be. That's honestly, that's what she needed to be, as a personal assistant. Because she does know her, you know. But like, it was crazy. So like, he's already hired a chief of staff. That chief of staff is obviously completely in the governor's pocket, which is of course the whole point. Um, so I'm like, why are you yelling at her when you realize, like, she's finding this information out just the same time you do? It just is
Hmm.
unrealistic. And I'm like, if you wanted that situation to cause some tension, then I feel like it would have had to unfold differently. Because if we're both finding out that at the very same moment, I think anybody else would have said, like, dang, I want my job or something, and been upset about not having their job, but not taking it out on her immediately. And it was just crazy.
Right. It
And then
doesn't
I'm
make
like,
sense.
yeah. And then the
It
situation
doesn't. Like
with the
I can see them
boyfriend,
like saying, "Hey, is there a plan we could come up with?" Like trying to work with her,
but
but
give her
to
a second.
turn on her, you really don't have no loyalty for this woman.
Give her a second. Like, she can't think, she can't breathe. I'm like, everybody expects her to know exactly what to do in every single situation. And I'm like, this is new for her. This is crazy. And for people who are supposed to be your family and care about you, it just seems unrealistic. And again, like, I feel like for it to create the tension that you wanted, Terry might have had to find out first, and then maybe not told you for a minute, or you know what I mean. Like, something would have had to actually make the moment
Right.
cause tension in a way that made sense.
Hmm.
But
I can see that. I can see.
and
Now that I can
you
see.
know what I mean? Because she doesn't, because she's like afraid to hurt your
Right.
feelings. Like, maybe she's, because I just don't feel like she could be that weak in her job. So maybe she's maybe a weakling, like, not weakling, but you know what I mean? Maybe a little bit more lenient with her family. You know what I mean? Like, I can see that dynamic more than anything. Maybe she feels guilty,
Hmm.
survivor's remorse for actually making it out. So she's way too accepting of them. Like, there's a way to nuance their character that he just didn't. And then the situation with Basil, I think, he can't be the driver. Like, he can't be the driver. Like, literally, the rules say it's got to be a state trooper. Like, the guy that is a state trooper, which again,
Hmm.
she doesn't find out till she gets there. But I'm like, that's obviously one of those rules that she doesn't have control over.
Right.
So
But also, it's like, is that I don't know. Like you, just because. So they're not related. He's just the boyfriend of the cousin,
oh yeah, and Terry
and
didn't
you feel
hire
like you
him.
don't owe the
The
job.
cousin hired him to be her driver. Terry did not hire him.
See, no, I never even agreed to
She
that.
never agreed to it.
And like he has no like training, no security,
Mhm.
clear. Like he has nothing.
Now
Like
the only thing that I do like that he did, like, so, and I think this is still in the first episode, and it is a thing where, yeah, you should have code switched, but you didn't. But I still liked it. I'm like, the only thing that to fit to me is like, so there's a situation where he's gotten fired, he's sitting on the bench, he's kind of moping, and he's short, so you can't really see him. And then the mayor's chief of staff and
hold on, is they can't see him
They
because
can't see
he's
him.
short
It's the
or
way the
because
scene is set up. That when they walk
he
in the
wrote
room, they
that
can't see that he's there. Like it's you know, okay. I guess I didn't need to mention that he was short. But either way, like I didn't mean it like that. The way the scene is set up, when the chief of staff and the mayor's other worker walk in the room, they can't see him. It's the premise, and he's just like, "Dang, I ain't got no job." And they come in and they start talking cash trash about Terry, right? And again, this
in.
it's still a little over the top, but it's still like, yeah, I believe when they think nobody's around, they probably do talk like this. And he gets up and he says,
Hmm.
he goes off on them, which I actually did like. And I'm like, and then he went back to saying like, talk like he talks. He said, and he was like, and if you mess with her, we'll air this bitch out. That part was funny to me. That part was funny to me. That one I was like, okay, that in that context, I can see him coming out of, you know what I mean? Because at this point, they
Right.
were going in. They were like, she's not really a lawyer, like she could have went to Harvard, like where she, like, you know what I mean? You know how they talk. So I was like, so
Oh no,
him
no,
coming out and
typical.
like, listen, you keep messing with her, we're gonna air this bitch out. And then the white man spent the rest of the time trying to figure out what air this bitch out means.
Right. But see, the thing about it is like that
Hmm.
could have been a great scene
Hmm.
if it was stacked up against other good
Hmm.
scenes. You know what I mean? Because it would stand out
Yeah, yeah. It
more.
was
But it's like it with the mess that they're doing all the time, it doesn't even stand out and be as funny as it should be.
exactly, and you're right, because then him coming out like cold, not I don't know, not cold switching makes sense because he's angry at how bad they were talking.
Hmm.
It then makes sense.
Right.
I don't care I don't care where you from. You are in the Capitol. You are in like the buildings where they hold court cases and stuff like that. You know not to be acting stupid. You know not to be acting crazy unless something happened to take you out of your character. You know what I mean? So yeah, that could have been good.
Right. That is like if you I've seen black people in a wide range of situations where I know the way that they're communicating with me is not the way that they normally communicate.
Hmm.
And it is beyond belief to believe that these people would not take her becoming even trying to be lieutenant governor serious. Even her being a city council person, that
Hmm.
means that she's been in these environments for long enough that they should know, like, the way that when she's in public she has to maintain a certain
Hmm.
like level, and when we are with her, we are representing her, we have to maintain a certain level. And it's not about being fake,
Hmm.
and it's not about being inauthentic, but it's about there's time and place.
Right. Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Like, the person that I am at work is very much me,
Hmm.
but it's not all of me.
It's work me.
It's work me.
It's work
Like,
me.
work me is funny, but she does not tell the same jokes that outside me tells.
Oh,
You know what
work
I'm
me is
saying?
not group chat me.
Exactly. Exactly. And right. And that doesn't make work me fake.
No,
It just like understand time and place and boundaries.
but I'm like, nobody has this issue when we talk about going to church. You know what I mean? Like, some people will act like you're being fake because you're different
Hmm.
at work, but everybody different at church. You definitely not telling us. You understand time and place then.
Exactly. Exactly. And I hate I hate that Tyler has the power that he has. I and I say that, and I have a lot of respect for him and for what he's built, honestly. Like,
Hmm.
he went, he has a story where he started out, homeless and in a car, and he's built an empire. And I have a lot of respect for what he's built. It's just the art.
It's just
I
the
can't get
refusal
away from it. And the fact that he
grow.
knows his art is bad.
Hmm.
He knows it's bad, but he's like, I'm so powerful, you can't stop me. You can't stop me. And as long as two people will watch this terrible stuff I put out, I'm going to continue to do it because I can.
Hmm.
I feel like there's some sort of fetish, but I don't know what it would be.
Is it embarrassing black women?
I don't know. I don't know. I don't know, but
It's
it's
like,
so
okay,
frustrating.
so and if you couldn't take the first 5 minutes, it just got worse. So like one of the things that they do in the show to embarrass her is that the governor basically he's trying to sideline her. So he gives her all these ridiculous tasks. Like he has her going to pig calling contests. He has her going to like the openings and state, like all these like little these things. But like she actually ends up doing a pig call, as a part of the contest. Like she has to open it with doing a pig call. They have her doing a ground opening where like she's got to dig the first piece of ground, which okay, again, normal kind of stuff, but like it's just all these like
Hmm.
allusions to slavery. Like I'm like it's just like they made it as like so they're doing all kind of stuff to embarrass her. And again, I'm like somebody in that position would have been said something. You know what I mean? Like, there's no way you would have let yourself be a bit. Like, she does not stand up to him until literally the last episode of 8.
I bless you for making it through 8 episodes. I do. I do. I do.
Mm,
And I just like I get so frustrated
girl,
because like okay, so this is not the first time we have tried to go back and watch like a piece of his art
mhm.
because I went and tried to watch the show about the cults. I don't remember what it's called.
All I remember Ruthless.
Yes.
Ruthless, right?
I honestly,
I just
my
remember the
husband and I
Rockabouche.
tried to watch that. We were like, we said, okay, we're going to give it a chance. And I honestly made it through maybe 1 to 3 episodes,
Hmm.
but it just
But
didn't make
again,
any.
it don't make sense. You're
It
in this
just
super hyper religious cult, but you got the women selling drugs and prostituting themselves.
and
They got to wear
prostituting.
basically they have to be completely covered, like almost wearing like burqas, but they're prostituting. It doesn't make sense. It does not make any
It
sense. Like
does not.
if you are that extreme to where you have to cover yourself head to toe, then but they're letting you prostitute yourself to make money for the cult.
The thing about it is
Their
once
name is
again,
the
I think
Rockabouches.
that yeah,
That's where you lost me.
I really think that he just like maybe watched like a couple of cult documentaries and started mixing stuff together. And
Mhm.
I'm someone who has probably seen every documentary about every cult. It's a slight special interest of mine. And so I'm like, okay, I'm seeing you pick this from this and this from this and this from this, but like you really have to understand the way that cults are organized to see why your cult does not make any sense. Like he just, it's so stupid. It was so stupid. But once again,
No.
could have been really good. Like a show about like a black cult,
Hmm.
I would have watched it. I would
He
have
have
eaten it up.
he will get a good premise. It's the execution. It's the execution
Is
and the dialogue.
is AI writing his is
No,
AI writing
he been
his
doing
stuff?
no. AI would do a better job.
I agree. I don't know how much you have used AI. I've been like trying to use it more recently. And I'm going to be real with you. I have deep conversations with AI.
Hmm.
And AI honestly gives me more thoughtful, like nuanced answers than I get from humans,
Hmm.
honestly. And AI sounds more human when they speak to me than Tyler Perry's characters speaking to each other.
Absolutely, 100%. Now I don't like the AI stories I see on TikTok because like there always be something off that tells me that no, you're not human because humans wouldn't do that. And again, still sounds better than Tyler Perry's.
You know what? I've never well, I've actually had AI create some songs
Hmm.
for me. Like I've asked them to create anyway, I've asked AI to create some songs and they are a little bit off, honestly.
Hmm. They'd be a little bit off,
Um they are a little bit off and
but they're a little
there
bit
is
off.
something like
This is a
lack.
lot of bit off.
But one thing that AI is like really good at is real world things. Like
Hmm.
ask them a question about something that is real and ask them their opinion on it. And that is when AI really shines. I'm going to be
Mhm.
honest. I had a full blown discussion with AI about the Israeli Palestine like conflict, and
That is.
we started like we talked about all the way from like the beginning, like the Nakba. Like we talked about everything, and I would challenge AI and ask AI questions, and they actually gave thoughtful, objective answers. I also had a conversation with AI about the environmental impact of using AI, and we had a very long and in-depth and deep discussion about that too.
Mhm. I think we use
I
AI
have
differently.
followers. We are,
We
we
are.
are, we are. But that's what I, but to me, that is where AI shined
Yeah, yeah.
because they were able to have a thoughtful, nuanced conversation, but also objective because you can actually challenge AI on the things that they say. And
Mhm.
like when we were talking about Israel and Palestine, you know, I was actually asking questions like to kind of challenge the things that they said. And they're like, you know what, you have a point here
Mhm.
XYZ. Like, I don't want to get too deep into the conversation, but it was one of the best conversations I have ever had on the topic. And
Okay.
even the environmental impact of AI was really good. And AI asked me, hey, do you want me to help you write a letter to your senator to talk about this? Because this is a problem. Like that, like I'm telling you, these conversations. I don't know how everybody else is using the AI. But
I'm
if you
using
want to
it to
talk
write
about,
emails I don't want to write.
I use that too. I had to write my bio for my promotion at work. I'm like, someone's like, oh, we need a bio. So I'm like, hey, AI, can you write a bio based on this little thing? And they actually did a really good job. So I do use, I have an AI at work versus my personal AI. My AI at work is very much, can you write this, make this sound better?
Mhm.
And then my personal AI, I'm like, well, what do you think about the implications of climate change? And I don't know that other people are using AI that way,
Mhm.
but if they're not, they should be. If you feel conflicted about something and you want like a great perspective,
Mhm.
go to AI and talk about it. And literally, as the you get more questions as the conversation goes on, and you ask AI the questions, and you get like literally, it's the best conversations.
Okay.
But I'm
Interesting.
not falling in love with AI. I
No,
don't know how that guy did that.
girl, no. No, I wasn't worried about that with you. I really wasn't. But yeah, okay. All right, so back to Tyler Perry, and which initially this was. Oh, I think we should have said this in the beginning, but this was initially titled "She the People." It has now been changed to Miss Governor. So Miss Governor. Um,
Oh, I heard about that.
yes, yes,
Do you
yes.
know why they changed the name?
You sent me a TikTok on it. It said like they're being sued because of the similarities between a story and her friend.
Yes. So apparently, um, was it Terry J. Vaughn's friend?
Yeah, which I feel like
Yeah.
she said in
She,
interviews that she got the idea from a friend of hers who went through something similar.
right. So basically, she feels like she has a book called She the People, or
Okay.
an organization. She's an organization, I think, called She the People. And so she was upset that they were using the name and kind of taking inspiration from her without credit, which I think is really wild to do.
Especially if this is your
And
friend. Like
right.
you didn't get
But
permission to
and
do
changing the name to She Governor is crazy.
this? Oh, Miss Governor.
Oh, Miss Governor is still very tacky sounding. She's not even the governor, she's a lieutenant governor.
Well, you didn't watch. She at the he dies in the last episode. The governor.
And she becomes the governor.
Yeah. Which I guess is the setup for season two. Like watching, seeing her be. Which again, not a bad premise. Like the first time she actually really gives it to him and goes off on him, he's a heart condition that is established. He has a heart attack and dies
Because she goes off on him.
from her yelling at him.
But you're calling the show Miss Governor. She was not the governor when the show started.
He
You
was
didn't
not.
even know she was going to be governor. Miss Governor sounds lazy.
It does, but and I mean, the show had been out for a while when they had to change the name. Um, but yeah, she does become the
Yeah, but
governor in the second. Yeah,
I want better. I want better for my people.
girl, yes. And then towards the end, T.C. Carson comes in as an actor, which is the guy who plays Kyle Barker on Living Single.
Right.
Like it's like all my
See, once again,
days.
you're pulling from a very deep nostalgic bench. You're recognizing and giving people roles who absolutely need and deserve roles, but you're
Mhm.
giving them garbage.
The dialogue is
Garbage.
terrible. It is terrible. And I'm like, and that's what I'm like. I'm excited because I see T.C. Carson, but then I'm like, oh goodness, they're gonna have him talking crazy, and they do.
You know what? Tyler Perry is someone who he could never write. He is a nuanced supervillain. Think about it.
Mm-hmm.
Like he does really terrible things to black art and black media,
Mm-hmm.
but he does it with the people that we love the most, and like thereby like he gains loyalty and
Right.
credit, and he's lifted in the
Mm-hmm.
community because he's pulling from these people we find, but he's using them, so he's a super villain, and
Girl.
he could not even create himself because he actually has nuance.
Mm-hmm. I don't think you could have gotten me to watch this show if it wasn't starring Terry J. Vaughn. Like I literally was like,
I wouldn't have watched.
I knew it was going to be bad, but I'm like, I love Terry J. Vaughn, and I have wanted to see her in something else for so long.
He's a super villain. He is. He's like the corporate like do-gooder
Mm-hmm.
who secretly is pouring like
Is he
waste
the
in the
black?
city's water.
I'm about to say, is he the black Lex Luthor?
Yes, that is honestly like if he that is Tyler Perry to a T. That is he is Blex Luthor.
Lex Luthor.
That is
Lex
him.
Luthor. Yeah.
I will not be watching season 2, of course, and I hope you don't either.
There's no reason now. I don't know, and I'm like, you didn't rope T.C. Carson in at the end, and that's pulling all of my heartstrings. Even though, of course, I don't like the way that the
Hmm.
character is being set up. Like what? Like they're him, and there's two other actresses that I recognize, but I cannot call their names off the top. Um, all people that like, yeah, I would love to see in the show. But again, you're pulling them in this really weird way. It feels like you're pulling them in like at the end to kind of come in and swoop in and save the day. Again, they should have been brought in earlier. They should have been brought in like halfway through. Like, okay, she's figured out that she
Hmm.
can hire her own staff. She's figured out how to get rid of the staff that he didn't put in place, and now she's bringing in her team to swoop in. Like it just would have made more sense earlier on to bring them in. But now
Hmm.
I'm like, well, let's see what TC Carson do. Even though I
You're
know
in an abusive relationship
it's just going
with
to
a TV
upset
show.
me. But then I need him to be in something else.
Break up,
I just watched
ghost
Living
them,
Single again.
ghost the TV show. Yes,
Just
yes,
watch Living
do
Single
that.
again and listen to his albums.
Right. Hmm. Yeah, don't do it
Mhm.
because it's only going to incur. And I know I did this. I know I created this mess. But you can't watch season 2. It's only going
It's only going to
to
make me
encourage him.
upset.
Right. You can't watch like your faves be like dialogically abused.
No, no, I cannot.
No, you can't. You deserve better. They deserve better.
I will rewatch Living Single, and they have their own podcast, the Reliving Single podcast with Erica Alexander and Kim Coles.
Oh, that's
Mhm.
cute. I like it when the staff goes back and they do like a
I did too.
podcast and a deep. I love a deep dive, as you can see by
Hmm.
my Chat GPT conversation.
You do, yeah. Yeah, we're gonna follow up offline on that Israel Palestine conversation. Um,
Okay,
but, yeah. But yeah,
but
so
we
I guess
hope you enjoyed this
yes,
episode and take it as a cautionary tale. Do not watch this show.
don't do this to yourself. You deserve better. Terry J. Vaughn deserves
You
better.
you
Tisa
do that.
Carson deserves
He
better.
does.
Roma Marie Patton. Oh my God. Why? Why would you do this to her?
Yes. 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 We all deserve better. We have to demand better of our heroes.
Do they ever take a show and then just completely rewrite it? Like, I still feel like it ain't too late. Let's take the whole show, rewrite the whole first season, and give it to somebody else to write and direct and produce. Is that a thing that can happen?
Like they only do that for like pilot. Like they'll do a pilot, and then they're like, we don't like the pilot. We like the premise, and then they'll do like an entirely different. They did that with Game of Thrones.
Oh, okay.
Like they
I
had
know
it in like the first pilot. They were like, no, and then they redid it. They've actually had Game of Thrones where they like fully like it was like a Game of Thrones spinoff.
that.
I think like they fully casted it, everything, did the pilot, and it was like, nah, this sucks, and it was over.
Okay.
So I think if it makes it past the pilot, I think we're screwed.
I don't know. I'm gonna put that out in the atmosphere and hope somebody else can pick it up and rework it because this could have worked.
I love putting things out in the atmosphere. So
Somebody,
I put my bid out
watch it.
for a different version of Traders. So
Yes, you did. But we'll see.
maybe one day his son will take over the studio and he'll do a better job.
He has a child.
Tyler? Yeah, he has a son with the random Ethiopian woman.
Oh, I don't know.
We'll talk about that offline too.
Okay. Okay. All
Love
right.
you.
Thank you guys. Bye.
I'm ready for the next episode. Can't wait to get home and turn my TV on. I'm ready for the next episode. Got my snap shoes off, my remote control. I'm ready for the next episode.